Pandemic puppies sounds like a cute idea, but the reality of how many people get their pooches is anything but cute. A new TVO original documentary by filmmaker Leora Eisen is titled Rescuing Rex, and it takes a closer look at the hard truths from the world of international dog adoptions. It airs tonight right after this program, and it's also streaming on tvo.org/documentaries, and it brings Leora Eisen to our airwaves tonight from North Toronto. Leora, I can't really call you Leora. You and I have been friends for 25 years, and you used to work at TVO for that show called Studio 2. I've always called you Leroy. Can I just call you Leroy tonight?
For sure.
Okay, good stuff. Let's show people, we'll give them a little flavor of this documentary, and then we'll come back and chat. Tony, if you would, let's roll it.
This is Penny.
Penny Lane's from Taiwan.
Oh. This is Queso. She's from Mexico.
This is Nigel.
This is Jagger.
This is Cole. He's a Serbian street dog.
There's a story that goes along with these animals.
And the stories will make you cry. How did you get onto the story in the first place?
Well, it's funny because I'm dating you and me here, but when we were growing up, if you wanted a dog, you went to the pet store or maybe a breeder, and that was it. Now, thank goodness you can't buy dogs at the pet store here anymore. But a few years ago, when my daughter was in grad school, she and her roommates wanted to foster dogs. And it turned out these dogs were from places like Turkey, Mexico. I had never heard of that. Really didn't know anything about international dog adoption. I have a rescue cat named Willie. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And it turned out that her friends of friends were doing the same thing. And I realized that this is kind of a social phenomenon amongst millennials. It's very different from our age group. It's people in their 20s and 30s trying to save the world one dog at a time.
And not only that, apparently Canada has become kind of, if not ground zero, certainly a major hub for international dog adoptions. How did that happen?
Well, first of all, we have pretty strict spay and neuter laws, at least in our major cities. So you don't walk down the street in Toronto and see stray dogs all over the place. But if you've ever been on vacation or traveled in Mexico, in the Caribbean, in Asia, in the Middle East, you see that. And so part of it is we just don't have the same kind of overpopulation. We do have stray dogs in a lot of remote communities, northern communities where there's less access to vet services, less money. But this whole idea of foreign dog adoption is within the last, I would say, 10 years or so. It's kind of new. Another thing is that, we are not so caught up, I don't think, in national identity. So whether your dog is Canadian or Serbian or Taiwanese, if you love dogs and you're a Canadian, we live in a multicultural society, you're probably not going to care as much. And, it's kind of bleak out there right now for 20 and 30 somethings, even pre-COVID, climate change, job prospects. And they are very concerned about animal welfare, about doing the ethical and the moral things. So to them, it's just no question. You adopt, you don't shop, and breeder to them is kind of a dirty word.
Well, this was one of the great takeaways of the film is that the pet does for, do you say owner, or what's the correct expression?
Well, you're either a foster, meaning you're taking care of the dog temporarily until it gets adopted, or you're an adopter. So one or the other, much like
Okay.
there are foster parents and adoptive parents.
But it was clear that the relationship is very much two ways. These pets do, as much, if not more, for the people who take care of them than they do in rescuing these animals, right?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, we met a young man named Harrison who was scrolling through social media one day, and that's how people find dogs, because it's like a Tinder site for dogs. You just go on any dog rescue site and think, maybe I'll meet my perfect match. So Instagram has changed everything, and Facebook. But anyway, Harrison wanted to foster the most traumatized dog that was coming from Texas. And I found that kind of surprising. And he explained that by caring for a traumatized animal, it might help him reconcile some of his own mental health challenges. I mean, people often say the dogs save us as much as we save them.
Hmm. It is a heartwarming story, but one does have to ask, is there a downside to any of all of this?
Yeah, there are a few things. One thing is these dogs come with baggage when they cross the border. They may have been neglected. They may have been injured. They may have been abused. They may be scared of a particular type of person. They may have been from a rural area, never been in the big city. They may carry diseases because responsible rescues will do a thorough medical check, but there's no regulations. So there's nobody really overseeing international rescue. So it's up to the individual rescue group and you doing your homework to make sure it's being done properly, because really all you need to bring dogs as a commercial import into Canada is proof of a rabies vaccination and nothing else.
Hmm. Now, you did tell the story of a group in Texas which tries to rescue dogs, and then a group from Toronto drives down to Texas and brings them back. But of course, that involves crossing a border, which at the moment is not so easy to cross. So what's the status of all of this right now?
Oh, it's changing all the time. For the most part, cross-border rescue has completely shut down. But Redemption Paws did do a small rescue earlier in May with permission of the government, because commercial crossings has been allowed, and this was considered a commercial crossing.
You mentioned Redemption Paws. Who are they?
They're a Toronto-based rescue group that was started a couple of years ago by Nicole Simone, who went down to Houston after Hurricane Harvey because a friend had told her that dogs needed help down there. And she's been doing it ever since with volunteers. We also filmed a group in Taiwan, a woman named Mary, who is a dog whisperer, really, because Taiwan also has a big dog problem. I was surprised about the States, though, because it's very different than urban Canada when you go down to the US South. They don't want anybody telling them what to do with their dogs. And unlike here, where rescue groups get dozens and dozens of volunteers, they have a problem down there raising money, raising attention. They're doing it on their own.
Leroy, for you, what was the most rewarding part about making this documentary?
I think for me, it's sort of seeing the bond between dogs and people, because it's something we know about. But these are dogs who were terrified, and literally a few days later, they were completely transformed. They had never received love, compassion, care. And it is amazing what happens when they're able to form a relationship with a person. That was really incredible. But I do want to just let people know that if they are thinking of getting a rescue dog, it's wonderful. I'm hoping to do it one day. But they really have to do their homework. It's buyer beware out there. Make sure you know what the rescue group is up to and who they are.
Well, you did anticipate my last question, which is, you told us you had a cat, but what about a dog?
Oh, well, I fell in love with this little scruffy guy named Nigel that I met in Texas, and I sent a picture to my kids, and they're in their 20s, but they were still begging for a dog. But I think I travel too much for work other than during COVID. So once that happens, I'm telling you now, girls, yes, it's going to happen. When I retire, I'm getting a dog.
Okay, very good. And the two daughters are on notice that they're going to have to walk it when they're in town. That's good to know.
Exactly. All right,
Well,
give Ruby a hug for me.
yes, I sure will. And we want to tell everybody, Rescuing Rex is on immediately after this program. And of course, it aired for the first time last Saturday night. And I called you immediately after we got off the air to tell you how much I loved it. We watched every second of it. I'll confess, we cried a little bit from time to time. It's a splendid job, so well done. Congratulations.
Thanks, Steve.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario. CPA Ontario is a regulator, an educator, a thought leader, and an advocate. We protect the public. We advance our profession. We guide our CPAs. We are CPA Ontario. And by viewers like you. Thank you.